What's up, everybody? It's Jason Cruz here with another episode of The Legal Submission. Before we get into the legal submission this time around, I want you to remind you to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate it. Also, MMApayout.com for all your needs in the realm of business and legal aspects of combat sports. We are going to follow up on a case that actually happened that is still ongoing and is actually going to trial possibly in June of this upcoming year, June of 2022, and it relates to Floyd Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions LLC suing Logan Paul and his company Pack Entertainment Worldwide LLC, and this stems from the fight that the two took part in, the exhibition that happened June 7th in Miami. And it relates to how it all came about, the background behind the makings of the fight and the fight for the location of the fight. So to take you back a little bit, we wrote about a little bit on MMA payout, but to take you back here, Floyd Mayweather sued Logan Paul. Basically, the entities, the companies, Mayweather Promotions actually sued Pack Entertainment LLC. And so what happened there was Mayweather claims that he was approached by Logan Paul. The two met, or the parties met at a big fancy hotel to discuss the potential to do a boxing exhibition. And the reason why they would do the boxing exhibition is to make lots of money. And Floyd Mayweather is a big name still and wants to remain in the limelight, even though he is retired from active boxing. Logan Paul is the YouTuber with a huge amount of social media following. Everybody likes or hates Logan Paul. The Paul brothers. We all know Jake Paul from his dealings with fighters in the UFC. His ongoing social media battle with Dana White. His alleged support for fighters and fighter pay. And this now is his brother, who actually fought Floyd Mayweather in June of last year. Now, what actually happened was in March of 2021, the parties came into agreement for an exhibition. And according to the lawsuit, Logan Paul was to pay Floyd Mayweather $110 million on a schedule of payments. In exchange, excuse me, in exchange, Logan Paul was going to receive what we believe is a location fee to hold the exhibition in Abu Dhabi, and he also wanted to have the rights and distribution regions to recoup money from the event. And so the what was supposed to transpire was a payment to Floyd Mayweather on May 21 to get this ball rolling. That did not occur. For whatever reason, Logan Paul's company did not provide Floyd Mayweather with the particular money necessary to go ahead with the exhibition. Now, at that point, you could walk away if you're Floyd Mayweather, but he decided not to walk away, and they came into another agreement. Now, in that particular agreement, the March 31st agreement, Logan Paul was supposed to pay Floyd Mayweather, I believe it was April 1 of 2021, a certain sum of money, not the whole 110 million, but an amount agreed upon by the parties. Now, Mayweather, of course, is a savvy businessman, and what he placed in the agreement, the first and the second agreement, was indicating that he could, if there was a breach, he could sue, and also if there was payment made, he could keep that payment. I don't know how that came about, but if at any point Logan Paul were to breach the contract in any way, namely not paying the amount for Floyd Mayweather, then he could keep any money that had occurred at that particular time. So what happens here is that Logan Paul doesn't pay once again, and Floyd Mayweather proceeds to a lawsuit. He filed a lawsuit, but Logan Paul returns with a counter lawsuit, basically suing him for counterclaims. And in this particular claims by Logan Paul, he indicates that Floyd Mayweather was going to breach the contract anyway. According to Paul, there was a text in which he had told Paul that he was done. So that could infer, according to Paul, that the deal was over with. And so that text came a day before the payment schedule was supposed to occur. So to paint the picture for you, here you go. Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul are going into an exhibition fight. However, Floyd Mayweather says, you have to pay me what is essentially a what do you call it? An appearance fee, basically up of $110 million. So he wants the money up front to go ahead with the promotion. Obviously, Paul and his associates think that this is a good deal because they'll make money on the back end. As we know, just to intervene here, as we know, Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view sold over 1 million buys. So at I don't know, I don't remember what it was, like either 75 or $65. That's still a lot of money. And so even though they were going to pay Mayweather $110 million, they saw that they could recoup the money through other ways, attendance, gate, whatever, pay-per-view, those types of things. And again, there might be a site fee involved with respect to the Abu Dhabi location. So getting back to the Logan Paul's claims, he indicates that Floyd Mayweather was shopping around a site, namely the Miami site. So Logan Paul claims that all the while Floyd Mayweather was trying to get Logan Paul to pay him this fee to arrange the fight to happen in Abu Dhabi, Mayweather was shopping around for the fight to actually occur in Miami. Now, we haven't gotten into the nuts and bolts of why Mayweather went for the Miami Miami site. Would it be advantageous for Mayweather? Did he get a better cut of the deal or the gate? We don't know as far as how that played out. However, what we have here is an issue because Logan Paul believes that Floyd Mayweather was going to breach the contract based upon a text that he was done. And so does that text relieve Paul from his duty to pay a certain amount to Floyd Mayweather per their prearranged agreement? That's the big issue. Floyd Mayweather, for his part, has filed a motion to dismiss, which actually I'm talking about right now. He's filed this motion, which is dismissing Paul's claims, saying there was no breach, there was no anticipatory breach, no breach in which the one party is excused from performance based on the indication that the other party is going to breach the agreement. So basically, Paul's argument is that, hey, I didn't have to pay you on time because I thought that you were going to breach the contract. And that excuses me from breaching the contract. That makes sense. So from Mayweather's perspective, he argues that the anticipatory breach claim is false. That you can't read into a a text, what it means, what I'm done means. Does that negate the whole contract, all of the agreements? Interesting, interesting case with respect to contract law. I mean, we looked at the Canelo Alvarez case a while back when he sued the Zone. That was based on an anticipatory breach because at the time the pandemic was occurring, and they just didn't know whether or not they could fulfill Canelo's contract. Obviously, that all worked out, and now we see Canelo is going to be fighting on the Zone in a couple months here. But back to the Mayweather Paul situation. So obviously, the sides weren't that mad at each other because they went through with Miami fight June 7th, made a lot of money. People were entertained, I guess. Like I said, sold 1 million pay-per-view buys. So that worked out. Now, why is the lawsuit still occurring? Well, it's based upon the money split. I assume. I mean, that's my inference from why this lawsuit is still going on, is that while Paul may have paid off Floyd Mayweather the $110 million. The fact remains that the fight was supposed to take place in Abu Dhabi as opposed to Miami. Now, were there any side deals? We didn't get it. We haven't gotten into that. What were the parties acting upon? Were they acting upon the agreement from Mayweather, or from the March 21st agreement, or excuse me, the March 31st agreement? Did the fact that Paul made payments indicate that Mayweather, that the contract, excuse me, the fact that Paul made payments, Paul did make payments to Mayweather, does that negate his claim for anticipatory breach because he still went through the contract? At least through the payment schedule of the contract. Did he get paid the whole amount? Those are things that are coming up. So as far as the issues going on in the case right now, there is a motion to dismiss pending of Logan Paul's claims of Mayweather breaching, anticipatory breach. There's also the issue where the court has not made a decision on it yet. It sounds as though that he wants to push this into mediation or litigation, or settlement conference in which the parties will hammer out a deal rather than make a decision on these particular issues. Like I said, there is a scheduling conference in June of this year, which would indicate that at that point, if no settlement has occurred, then the parties will march to trial. I suggest that this won't go to trial, but there is a lot of money on the line, and that's why they're still litigating the case. It's an interesting thing that the parties were able to still work through the event, even though this lawsuit was occurring. And now we got the lawsuit happening, and potential to ramp up again, and we may see some rumblings from both camps. And of course, there is Jake Paul out there. He could still do a exhibition with Mayweather, and perhaps they'll say who the winner of that fight is will win this particular legal lawsuit. Well, that's it for today. This is Jason Cruz with The Legal Submission. Again, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Have a good day.